My name is Dan Dorval, and I'm President and CEO of Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. I am an independent certified financial planner and author of my book, Financial Success for the Rest of Us, Reality Based Financial Planning for Mainstream America.
Hi, my name is Leah Woodley. I'm an associate financial advisor with Dorval and Cherney Financial Advisors. Our conversations discuss what it means to do quality of life planning in all areas of your life. Dan, it's the holiday season, and regardless of what holiday you celebrate or don't celebrate, a lot of people will give gifts during this time. And sometimes that can come with pressure. Sometimes that can create feelings of obligation and having to buy gifts. Some people have to buy a lot of gifts, some people don't have to buy gifts at all. So, what are your thoughts about just how you approach gift giving and just the commercialization that the holiday season tends to bring?
Well, when we know that Christmas is now starting to get advertised before even Halloween, you can see that powerful impact of commercialization on various holidays, of course. But for us, we're in a pretty fortunate position as far as setting limits and not worrying too much about the material aspects of Christmas. And the reason why is we have relatively small families. So for us, there aren't dozens and dozens and dozens of presents to buy. We set expectations with our kids that, they'll probably get a pretty nice present, but they don't get tons and tons and tons of things because the goal there obviously is to try to be together, and that is the true meaning of these holidays with gratitude, appreciation, respect, all of those things. So for us, it's relatively easy, but we do see clients that they talk about the pressures where maybe they have tons of extended family, nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles and all these different people. And then they start to get into the pressure of competing because these people gave us a present worth this much and now we have to reciprocate or exceed it. And then it's this upward pressure of we spend more and we spend more and we spend more. Combine that with inflation and things just cost more. So we see a lot of people come out of the holidays feeling guilt, or now they kind of dug a hole and now they have to fill it back in, so they got some work to do. And that really, what we see is it takes away from the spirit of the holidays.
Mhm. I completely agree with that. And for us, so we kind of have two different dynamics going on. My family is kind of small, my husband's family is kind of big. And for me, it is a time of stress because I feel like we have to buy for so many people. I we do set a limit, so we have a dollar limit for kids and a dollar limit for adults. But just with the family being so large and expanding at that rate, it seems like people are having kids all the time. It just becomes a lot. I would love if we could do like a white elephant situation. They are not open to that at this time. But that would be just a great idea for me. I think it's really important. And I try to stress with my kids that one, no one has to buy you a gift. So be appreciative if anyone does buy you something. And then two, this time is about being together and spending quality time together, enjoying one another, having fun, creating memories. So I try not to make the focus on the gifts. And I'm also not a gift person either. So that's not, I'm not sure if you've heard of the five love languages. That's not one of my love languages. I really don't think about it. I am appreciative if I get a gift, but it's not something that's top of mind for me. It's not something that I'm really concerned about at all. So I also have to understand that for some people it is. It is a
Well, so
priority. So
do you end up, because your family's smaller, your husband's family's bigger, do you and your husband struggle with that together as far as maybe having a different perspective on Christmas?
um we definitely do have a different perspective. It doesn't. create any stress between us. We kind of have a system where we just, honestly, he buys most of the gifts because I don't like to shop either. So he'll buy for everybody, my family and his family. But it hasn't created tension between us. I have brought up the fact that I think we should either just buy for the kids or do the white elephant thing. Um, and that was like a hard no, but but we don't like fight about it or anything like that.
Well, we grew up very poor. So
Mhm.
my parents didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of gifts. You really did learn to appreciate what you got, regardless of
Yes.
how small it was. But at the same time, I had one set of grandparents that felt like they were, more well off, and we were their only grandkids. So
Mm,
when we went to Christmas there, it was like, wow, we're getting all of these gifts. And they weren't elaborate or lavish,
mhm.
but at the same time, they were much more lavish than what we got at home. And so I really saw both sides of that. And as a little kid, of course, you loved to go to grandma's house when you were getting more gifts, but you kind of learned as you got older, okay, like not everybody can do this,
Yes.
and we really needed to appreciate, well, our other set of grandparents who didn't have much, compared to the other ones. And we would get a card from the one set of grandparents, and there were like dollar bills in there, not
Yeah.
tens, not 20s, nothing like that. There were dollars in there. And yet at the same time, we knew that that was a much bigger sacrifice for them. Now, you don't
Mhm.
know that when you're little, but
Right.
as I got older, I was like, okay, the meaning and the purpose and the giving was all predicated on this whole relationship and the love and all of that. So I learned really at a pretty young age to not do the whole materialistic type of thing,
Yeah.
pretty much out of necessity rather than out of anything else.
Yeah. And the thing is, half the time, people don't even use the gifts. At least my kids, like, they'll play with a toy for a couple days and then they're over. So it's like, I really like gifts that are meaningful. I like gifts that are useful as well. I know like our in-laws asked that we, instead of buying their kids gifts, that we make a contribution to their 529. I'm like, okay, that's useful. So I like things like that. But yeah, I think just there just needs to be a prioritization of making memories and focusing on being together. My favorite part of the holidays is when my kids go out with my husband and they get a Christmas tree. I love that. It's like their bonding time. Then they come home and we all decorate together. We have snacks, we play music, and it's just a great day. That's my favorite part of the holiday season.
Oh, I think that's awesome. It's, when you talk about the commercialization, talking in the way you just described, where it's all family, it's togetherness. Maybe the tree doesn't go smoothly, maybe not, maybe everything's not perfect,
Mhm.
but it doesn't need to be because, in fact, if the tree falls down or something weird happens, those are the memories that you shared together. And so getting
Yes.
stressed over everything being perfect, that's not part of what the holiday seasons need to be about. But then you look at social media and people want it to all look perfect. Everybody's smiling, everybody's happy. That's not always the reality. We see a lot of our clients that these are tough times a year for them.
Mhm.
Maybe they've lost a loved one,
Mhm.
maybe they're struggling in some way. So I always keep that in mind as well, because if times are good, you want to appreciate that because, again, life does change and it can change quickly. So
Yes.
that keeps me grounded in the idea of not being commercialized, not focusing on just the material aspects of these holidays that really set a standard from other people rather than ourselves.
Yes, I think that is important and critical to just Focus on what is the most important, and that's your family, that's your friends, and that's having the quality of life that you want to have during those holiday seasons. And hopefully that is just peace and joy.
I do differ a little bit on the gift giving. You know,
Okay.
you like the practical aspect.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to put money in someone's 529. That's
I
a
am very
practical.
practical. Listen, when I was in college, I used to ask my mother to give me giant, well, we had a Giant Eagle grocery store. I used to ask for Giant Eagle gift cards. I'm so practical.
So I would want to give you something that you wouldn't do for yourself.
And that's what my husband does. He is like, this is something I know you wouldn't buy for yourself. Or if he gives me money, he's like, you cannot spend it on this, this, and this. Like, do something fun. So yeah, he
Well,
balances me out.
and that's the thing is like gift cards super practical.
Uh-huh.
The idea of donating to charity, the
Mhm.
idea of doing these things, it's like those are all good things. I don't have a problem with gift cards. I don't have a problem with, 529s. I don't have a problem with charity, whatever. It's just to me that gift, I don't want it to be an afterthought of, okay, I gave you whatever money to
Mhm.
put in a 529, and then when they go to school, there's this big lump of money in the 529. I can't differentiate this piece versus this piece.
Mhm.
And to me, even though the idea of the gift is fine, I like the idea that you get something and you look at it and you go, I would have never thought to do that.
That's true.
But now there's some aspect of being special or unique or, and of course that means it's hard to come
Yes.
up with that idea. And
Yes.
to me, that's the caring enough to think of something that was maybe hard. So is there
Yeah.
anything that you would look at and you'd say, I would never buy that, but that would be pretty cool to get?
Oh man, I don't know. That is a hard one. I am not sure. You really put me on the spot with that one. I do not. I don't know. I literally don't think about stuff like this. I have no idea. I
So
don't.
our viewers can now realize this is real time and we don't really
Right.
prep for this.
This
I
is
mean,
not scripted at all. I
this
have
is just
no
this is just
idea.
us talking and we just talk
Right.
about topics as they come up. So sorry to put you on the spot. Um, you talk about your husband though buying you
Mhm.
things that you look at and you go, well, I wouldn't have bought that.
Yeah.
Is there anything you remember where you go, okay, that was weird, but it was kind of cool?
um, I wouldn't necessarily say anything weird, but I literally won't spend money. So like he'll buy clothes, he'll send me to the massage place, to the masseuse, just spa days. Like he'll do stuff like that that I won't do for myself. Um, even like just planning something with me and some friends, like he'll do stuff like that. He'll organize things like that for me. So it's just stuff that I think he knows that I would enjoy, but that I won't do for myself.
Well, so now let's say you get that spa day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You wouldn't do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel when you go there? Do you have guilt, like I would never do this? Or does it actually feel like, hey, I can just relax and enjoy this and use it for what it is?
It absolutely feels like I can relax and enjoy this and use it for what it is. Yeah, I love it. But I don't know. I just don't. I do need to take better care of myself and prioritize my self-care better. But yeah, I just want to do it for myself. I don't know why. Maybe I'll get to that point. So any last comments you want to share?
No, since if I ask you a question, now I feel like, oh my goodness.
Don't feel like that.
So,
But now you did encourage me to think outside of the box. So I know we have our holiday party coming up. So when I buy my gift for my person, whoever, we do a white rabbit gift exchange among our team members. So I am going to think especially out the box for whoever I have selected.
well, and of course, the challenge with our team is, well, you're in Maryland
Yeah.
and we're in Minnesota, and you don't get to interact with all of us,
Mhm.
very often. So it is hard to put in that thought and say,
Mhm.
okay, what is special to this particular person when you
Mhm.
don't necessarily know them that well at a personal level. So
Yeah.
our group, it is a bonding experience to do that. And what Leah's describing is, we every year we host everybody at our house. It is very much a holiday season type of gathering. We have a really nice meal. We exchange gifts. The gifts sometimes are, they get pretty creative because you don't necessarily know that person. So all of a sudden you open, you have no expectations at all, and you don't know who's buying for you. So all of a sudden you're going like, wow, this is maybe really weird, or it's kind of cool, or I would have never expected that. So, but it creates that experience where we have to think about others in a way that we don't get to do every day. So we value that opportunity to get together, share that time, be able to talk and laugh and listen to music and all of those things. So it's something I look forward to every year.
Yeah, it's a great time. I enjoy it. I love playing the games.
Well, and you're bringing your husband this
And I'm
year.
bringing my husband this year.
So it's like
So
date
that'll be
night.
fun. It is date night. Leave the kids at home. Yes,
Well, we
it'll be
look
a good
forward to meeting
getaway.
him.
Yes. Well, happy holidays to everyone. And until next time, have a good one.
Thanks, Leah.